another live stream of the NFBC. Tonight, it is the Best Ball Cutline Championship featuring SI.com's Jen Piacenti and Shawn Childs. Jen, how you doing? Good to have you on with us.
Hey, thanks for having me. I think this is going to be a blast. I can't wait. I appreciate you guys setting this up for us, and I'm going to use Shawn's rankings against him. So he's totally he's in trouble.
Well, Shawn doesn't know that much. I think you're doing the right thing there. Shawn, what do you think?
I don't use my own, so it doesn't matter. they're just the baseline, right? You have an opinion behind the, who do you don't like, you like, and yeah, it's tough to get away from that stuff.
So is your rankings the best ball scoring? Because, I mean, this is different, obviously, than a regular rotisserie 5x5.
Yeah. And the rankings aren't up to date. I haven't done them in 2 weeks because there's so many changes. I started to do them Sunday. I'm like, they haven't even signed the big players. I can hopefully by tomorrow, these other names aren't dropping.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's just set the table for what this is. We'll get the draft board up here, get rid of us for a little bit there. And this is a 10-team, 42-round best ball scoring serpentine draft. It is a $175 entry fee. We pay $350 to first place, $150 to second place. But here's the big thing, $75,000 grand prize. And it's basically a survivor playoff format. We can talk about that later, but you just got to hang on, and then we're going to have a final table of 20 people in the last 2 weeks of the season. They are going for the $75,000 grand prize in best ball scoring. There's very little that you have to do after draft day. We have 2 fab periods, so 2 times you get a chance to pick up free agents. But basically, this is draft and done. So Jen, Shawn, draft the best that you can. Jen has the 5th pick. Shawn has the 9th pick. Again, because of best ball scoring, Ohtani goes a little bit earlier in this format. He can qualify at pitcher or hitter. He goes wherever it helps your team the best, so he usually goes in the top 3. But we'll see what we're going to do here. Jen, you've got the 5th pick.
We're definitely going to have a different top 3 tonight because if anyone takes Tatis in the top 3, they're making a mistake at this point.
What a wild week it's been, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just one of the things that have happened. But were you watching drafts last night? Where did he go last night?
In the RotoWire Online Championship, he went pick 32, so it was still mid 3rd round. I didn't watch the Cutline, so I'm not sure where he went in the Cutline.
Yeah, Shawn, where would you take him right now?
I'm going to pass right now in something like this. I'm hoping I get a little bit of information, in the next couple of weeks at least, or actually probably less than that for the main events, to make a better decision on when he's out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he goes in Las Vegas for sure. All right, Jen, you've got the 5th pick. Do you like this spot? Do you know who you're thinking about?
I mean, I know who I really like, and we'll just see who falls to me. When I was doing my Tout Wars draft, I took number 3. We had modified KDS, and so I was able to choose 3. And I was hoping to get Jose Ramirez, and then Trey Turner was available to me. So, sometimes you don't know what's going to happen. So I have an idea, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting for sure. All right, this is 55 seconds per pick. These go pretty fast. Darik, what do we get these done in about 2 hours sometimes, right?
Those are the long ones at this point. They're going 85 minutes or 90, 95 minutes now, even some of them. So I mean, we have a few of the veterans that literally just put it on auto and they have their cues set and they'll just mess with their cues, but so they're every pick's within 5 seconds. So you get a couple of those guys in there, they fly.
That would be the John Statmuller auto pick there, I would say, right?
Right. A couple other guys started doing it too.
Yeah. So here we go. Turner is definitely going to be number 1, I would think, in most of our drafts going forward. Tatis was going number 1 in a lot of our online championships recently. So he's been going there. Then Ohtani, he scoots up because of this scoring format. He's just so good to have right now. Darik and I, we both have said, I think I'd take him 1 overall, to be truthful, in this format.
I would. He'd slam dunk number 1 for me. I can make the argument for Turner because he could have 200 points just on his batting average with all the hits and stuff. If he bats around 330, I don't know if he will. But Ohtani, there's enough. Again, there's 42 players here. I think there's enough times where he actually hits your pitching lineup as well if you build your offense the right way. So to me, he's a slam dunk number 1. But I can see the arguments for others.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Juan Soto is very good in this format as well. We get points for being on base, runs, all that kind of stuff. So, Jen, you got to be pretty happy with him at 5, right?
I am very happy. I didn't think he would fall to 5, but that's who I wanted. So I'm very happy right now.
All right. We like to make you happy. So there we go. We got you started in the right direction. Shawn, what are you looking for at pick 9?
Well, that's if Bichette falls, I'm just going to take him, because of the shortstop and try to get the multiples there. I'm definitely going to take 2 bats out of the gate. So I'm looking for this kind of format, looking for more event guys, the big home run players. That the speed is a factor, but guys walk and lessen the at bats and hit home runs. It's okay. So it's a little different than a main event. You can ditch the batting average and stuff like that. So Acuna, I'm kind of neutral on. So that's what. So that puts you in a funny spot, when you got, Acuna going to miss some time. I think he's going to be okay. And, you're gambling. It's a long season and you're going to dismiss a couple of weeks. You can survive in the Cutline. You don't have to win it. So I'm probably just going to take him, and hopefully, you need him to be at his very best at the end of the year, and you got to get there first, but I'll take a chance on him.
Yeah, he didn't really fall all that much after the news that he might miss all of April. Darik, what did you see last night? I know the night before Sunday night, he went 5th, 6th, and 9th in the online championship. What about last night? Do you remember?
I think he was 7th last night. So yeah, again, news didn't really affect anything.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Tatis goes there at 10 pretty early, considering he's been there a long time. I mean, you guys survived to the playoff round then, right?
Yeah, that's a tough stash. I know you got 42 guys, but you need 42 healthy guys to I mean, yes, if he makes it through, awesome. You got Tatis at the end and you made it through, but wow, that's a tough stash in this format.
Yeah, it is. All right, Shawn, what are you thinking about here in the second round?
It almost really forces you once Devers and Bichette come off the board, and obviously Tatis, they go back to the outfield. I can't take Perez. That's too early for me. Freeman's interesting, but I think first base I can get away with cheating on it. So I'm going to go with Betts and be a little against the grain there. Hopefully the Dodgers score runs and he bounces back and runs and hits some home runs.
All right, Acuna and Betts. I mean, you don't have to worry about position at this point. Certainly 10 team. I mean, there's plenty of third basemen, there's plenty of shortstops, there's plenty of first basemen and such like that. These 10 teams are not as position worrisome as a 15-teamer for sure. Darik, in this format, this year especially, we have seen starting pitchers being pushed back more and more. Now, a lot of good points from the starting pitchers, relievers. You don't get saves so much, but they save points do add up if you get multiple saves per week. What's the thought on starting pitchers in this best ball format?
Well, they are getting pushed back again. It looks like they get pushed back maybe a little bit further than they actually do because there's only 10 teams versus like when you're looking at a 15-team draft board, right? So, you see guys that typically go in the second round of a 15-team draft, and you'll see them falling into the 6th, 7th round here. Again, just the way the points work. There's a lot of to me, I think you need to end up with about 17 or 18 pitchers out of the 42 guys here, depending on kind of how you build. So you got a lot of time to get them. And again, hitters just, if you look at the top point scorers, they're hitters. And there's a reason people are obviously catching on to that. So it's, again, you got to have both. But to me, I like to build a huge solid offense here to start with. Maybe mix in a pitcher in the top 6 somewhere, and then start adding some yellow along the way. But I think you definitely need to tank those bats right away. You got to have a squad out there.
Shawn, what's your thought on the pitcher as well? Jen has her fingers crossed before her next pitch.
Oh, yay! Got my guy, guys. Got my guy.
All right, you got your guy.
Got my guy. Yordan Alvarez. Yeah. I just think in this format, this guy's going to mash. He has great plate discipline. He's going to hit bombs. He's already hitting bombs in spring training. Maybe it's a little bit of a homer pick. I am a Houston Astros fan, but I feel like Yordan's my guy this year.
Well, a home run is worth 13 points, right, Darik? Why don't you explain
that?
So
a home run is worth 13. Yeah, you get 14 and then -1 for the at-bats. That's something we should point out when we're talking about guys like Trey Turner and Juan Soto and Mike Trout moving up, to pick 7 where he's usually going later. You don't get anything for a walk, but you are on base, so you can score a run and whatnot. But you don't get the -1 for an at-bat. So guys that are on base all the time, they have a leg up here.
Yep, definitely. It's a unique scoring system. It's kind of based on 5x5 rotisserie, so the players go kind of similarly, but it's points based. And like I said, we never did give a 1 point for a walk because we don't have that in rotisserie. But if they're on base, you didn't get the -1, so there is that. So, Shawn, we were talking about starting pitchers, and again, we've only seen one so far, and Cole does separate himself, but this is a pretty big gap between the number 1 starting pitcher and whoever's going to go number 2. What are your thoughts on starting pitchers in this format?
Yeah, when you're looking at the breakdown, I think, a good week would be 700 points, and I think it's like maybe 500 for hitting and 200 for pitching. So, when you're looking at your goal, if you get enough depth in the starting pitching, and you can get enough points. So the aces are impactful, but is there enough innings this year based on what happened last year? I think there was a lot of injuries at the front of the pitching inventory, like
Yep.
14 pitchers got hurt. So
Yep.
I think they will bounce back. There'll be more guys getting 180 innings, and they will be impactful. But they're looking at last year's stats and projecting for this year, and we've already lost. What, Flaherty got nicked up today, and these pitchers keep dropping off the draft board, so it changes quickly.
Yeah, Flaherty didn't get nicked up today. They just found out that he had a sore right shoulder. That's the type of news we didn't get before, right? And if you're a Flaherty owner, which I am, Darik, in the GTD, I've got Flaherty and McCullers right now. So off to a great start right now. I should have let you have McCullers. You love him.
I've been off McCullers for a few years now. He was my guy for a couple years ago, but I've been off for a while now.
He went for like $9. I'm just like, $9? Come on, even if he misses a little time. And fingers crossed, I guess, but we'll see. All right, we're seeing a couple catchers here, which we don't see them go this fast in rotisserie. I mean, here we got, 17, 21, and 22 for the catchers. What's the strategy behind that, Darik?
These guys, they want the leg up a catcher, and I can get it. I mean, I see it. This is kind of what John Stadtmuller does too. He always grabs a top guy, and these people might go with 3 catchers. I'm a 4 catcher guy in this concept because I don't reach for one of these guys here. I feel like I need to make it up with that extra guy in volume. So again, I think if you take one of those top 3, we won't see another one go for a while now, probably until round 7 or 8 at this point. So I think these guys try and get away with 3, which gives you an option to use that roster spot somewhere else. So to me, I think it's okay to take one of these guys, but then only use 3. But I'm a 4 catcher guy.
All right, Team 7 is right out there. He's saying, I took Trout. He'll be the #1 hitter this year. Mark my words. All right,
Very
I like
possible.
it. Very possible. If he can stay healthy, right? If he can stay on the field. Jen, you got yourself a shortstop, a guy who, again, high batting average, a lot of runs, right?
And maybe a little bit of speed. So maybe I'll get a few of those extra 5-point bonus bags. So we'll see. Yeah, it's my first share of Tim Anderson. So let's cross our fingers again.
All right, sounds good. Again, 1 starting pitcher in the first 26 picks.
I don't know that we've seen only 1 in 26 so far in the cut line. You usually see the other guys mixed in there by now. So there should be a small run coming here pretty soon. But
you think Shawn will start it? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think Shawn will start it, but I think there'll be a little mini run here.
I don't think Shawn will start it either, but we'll see. So there we go. Corbin Burns at 27. So we got starting 4 and 27 there. So Shawn, when we first started the draft champions format, I'll let you pick here, but we went 45 rounds. And I remember you telling me after that first year, you got to add 5 more rounds. People don't have enough depth at catcher. And I'm like, 50 rounds? Who's going to draft 750 players? You're like, you have to do it. There's not enough depth for catchers. It was the right decision at that time. Oh, sure. There you go ahead and take a starting pitcher then, right?
Yeah, well, you got little pockets of this. Is there, when you're trying to game the ADPs, which are ever changing. So you get somebody who slides, or you're targeting another position. So it's just you just kind of surf and try to be a little bit open to draft flow, but you also got to see where you want to go in some other rounds. So like right now, I mean, there's a pitcher I would like to make back to me in round 5. I don't think he will. So, do I, take a pitcher in round 5 or just take a hitter right now? I'm not a Judge guy. I know he's great and impactful and stuff like that, but maybe it's the Red Sox in me. I don't want a Yankee, but
he's in the news today.
Judge being able to play because with New York rule and then not being able to potentially play in Toronto, that's certainly, it's got to be in the backs of people's minds. Like, I don't want a guy who's not even going to get opportunities and going, too soon in my draft. Obviously anything can change, but it makes me a little bit gun shy.
I agree. Yep.
I'm going to jump somebody, but a little ahead of ADP, but I'm going to take the pitcher I think that bounces back this year. I mean, he wouldn't make it back. So a little against the grain there for sure. So, but it leaves me open. Now I got to shift back to the batters.
Yeah, well, we have him in AL labor, so at least you're true to your board. That's for sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could have taken Scherzer, but I don't know. Just had a great year last year, and I know he's still a great pitcher, but I probably should have taken him.
And
Don't
the
have
nice
any
thing,
regrets.
nice thing about the cut line is when you're kind of on the fence between two guys. I mean, you're getting their spike weeks. You're not getting all their stats. You know what I mean? I mean, obviously you want Bieber in your top 9 each week, but it's not going to work out that way. It's just some week he's going to have a bad start and he's not going to be in your top 9. So again, to me, I think when you're kind of nitpicking, pick your favorite guy in the cut line for sure. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Best ball scoring, he has 1 start. It's not a good start. He doesn't make your top 9 pitchers, right? It's as simple as that. So, all right, as you can see, these go pretty quickly. Whatever, 33 picks in 11 minutes. That's pretty damn good. But when you have 10 good owners, this is how it can go. I mean, these can go pretty fast. And again, there's just 2 fab periods. Once April 19th, I believe it is, and then
April
early
19th,
June.
yeah. And then
Yep, and it's on a Tuesday, so that it's not the same day as our regular fab on Sunday. So it's a good format, good way to learn to play your pool.
Yep, and let's take about 30 seconds to just talk about when it is fab time for these cut lines and you build lists that are literally 100 deep. We've got your back this year. Finally, you can if you have more than one cut line team or any type of team actually, but let's talk about cut lines here. You can now copy bid lists from one league to the next. It works beautifully. So if you have 100 person bid list, you want to use the same guys in the next league. You can copy it over. Anyone that's not in that other league as a free agent just doesn't show up on the list. So it works great. It's going to save everyone so much time. So we're very ecstatic about breaking this out and letting everyone see it come fab time. People are going to be amazed.
Yeah, you can't even imagine the times people would spend on the cut line fab to look for the free agents that they want in each individual league, then put them in there. Now it's just one click. They're all right there. The player you have to drop might be different. Okay, you got a little work there, but boy, you don't have to search for all these free agents.
You don't have to click 100 flags each time too, which is a time,
Right, absolutely. All right, Jen, you've avoided starting pitchers, no yellow stickers there, but you've got on-base guys. Again, if Springer can stay healthy, he's another one who could be, top 20 batter for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of my hope. Again, it is all about health, but again, as you mentioned, it's best ball. So we're going to get best lineup each week. And if he's out for 6 weeks, hopefully I'll have some guy that I throw a dart out later that can pick up his slack. But when George Springer is clicking, he is really good. And should he, he's batting in a really great lineup, one that may soon have Freddie Freeman. We don't know, but I would like a piece of that Toronto lineup. So George Springer seems like the right price.
Yeah, and another thing, compiling at bats, just like in Roto, especially important here. A guy like George Springer probably leading off is what most of us still believe, and so he gets that extra bat, a couple times a week. That's a big deal for great hitters.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Anthony's been stumping for you way too much. I mean, he's sending you shirts and stuff like that. So
join the Widowmaker with me. Yeah, he loves it. Yeah,
that Tom's watching this. He does not think you're Employee of the Month. I mean, there's some competition out there, so just stop it already. All right. We'll evaluate, Anthony, after the live events. Who's the Employee of the Month? I mean, Darik's in the top 4 right now. I'll just say that.
There you go. Top 4.
All right. 40 picks, 4 rounds, less than 15 minutes. So good stuff here. So as we're looking here, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 guys without any pitchers right now. Certainly no concern with 10-team leagues, but interesting for sure. All right. Anything stand out, Darik, so far in 4 rounds? Probably not, but what do you think?
No, I mean, usually 1 or 2 more pitchers have gone, but here, one just goes here. So yeah, it's a pretty standard cut line. I mean, to me, the Tatis pick at 10 was a little bit wild for my taste, but no, nothing good. I mean, we got the 3 catchers are there. My guy's coming up any pick here. So, I mean, it looks like a very, very standard cut line draft. And that's what you get. I mean, you get some wild ones sometimes where I actually saw one probably a week ago where we actually saw a ton of pitchers go early. Just like, I don't know if it was monkey see, monkey do or whatnot. So each one is, it's its own different kind of little mini cosm of what people think's going on.
Shawn, Anthony's asking, do you have a number of pitchers you plan on rostering? Darik was saying 18, 19. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know how Darik gets 18 and 19 using 4 catchers, but, with 3, maybe you can get up. It's 15 or 16 I'll start out with, hopefully. Obviously, it depends on if you have, a certain number of starters. I'll probably fade the relievers. I mean, they work fine. I just I don't want to draft a reliever that could lose a job and give up the spot, so I'd rather take the innings. So I'll probably 15, 16, and if I have 4 catchers and I end up weak there, that'll make me at 15 instead of 16. But more pitchers can't hurt you, but you also still want to have that rotational player at like at least 3 players at each infield position, and you probably need 9 or 10 outfielders.
I think the best statistical ones I've seen are where you have 4, have all your infield covered with 4 guys. That's how I use 4 catchers. If you have enough guys that have multi-positional flexibility, which we haven't really talked about yet, which is huge in this, where guys can play second and outfield or first, second, short. That's huge. So when I do 4 catchers, I usually have 17 pitchers is what I go with. So right around that area.
Yeah, interesting. Let's talk about Tatis and why we say that's interesting. So in this format, the regular season goes all the way to the All-Star break. The top 2 teams advance to a championship round. The next 3 teams advance to a wild card tier. The bottom 5 teams are eliminated at the All-Star break, okay? And then we have 3-week periods where we do a cut. We cut a percentage of each teams until we get to the final 20 teams. Again, the wild card tier can advance back up into the championship round, so they're still in the running for the $75,000. So the reason we talk about Tatis is he could be out until the All-Star break, and that means the entire regular season here. You got to get to the top 2 or top 5 to be able to use him. Am I correct, Darik?
You are correct, and that's why it's a really tough stash when it's your first round pick. I mean, it's different if he slides far enough, and you just say, "I'm going to take the shot because I think I can get there," and then I have him. I hadn't had him, I made it. Now I have him. My team is that much better. But yeah, it's all about
Yeah, got to get through to the Cutline area, the playoff rounds, and again, that's after the All-Star break. So we'll see. Jen, you still went with another hitter here, Marte. You have yourself 4 outfielders. Talk about this build right now.
You know what? I'm just simply going for the best player available, and it was ridiculous to me that Starling Marte was still there, so I just grabbed him. I mean, we've got a guy with power, we got a guy with speed on a probably good team. I don't know. It's the Mets, so you never know. And there's still plenty of great pitching available, so I had to just get the best guy available.
There you go. That's how you draft sometimes, right? To take the guy that can score the most points for you, worry about the roster construction later. Shawn, talk about your last 2 picks here, Lindor and Abreu.
I was tempted to go on the second pick with Abreu somewhere else, but, first base, it kind of drops off. So I was just taking, 2 veteran guys that, give me some points. Hopefully I can add a couple players behind it. But when you look at first base right now, it is kind of, it doesn't really stand out, and I think it's a position that you want to be strong. Like team number 3, 2 great first basemen, a lot of power, so that, but it's interesting. And then how does he get out in pitching? So they're all a little different, and different draft slots create different opportunities. So I prefer, if I didn't ideally have 2 pitchers, to have a better first baseman. Like if Alonso would have made it to me on that 3-4, I definitely would have taken him in this format. So I got pinched, and from the draft position, and it is what it is.
So when you take multiple teams, Shawn, depending on where you draft, obviously the draft spot, you do different combinations, right? Like you're not just stuck on your 2 starting pitchers in your first 4 rounds like you have right now. You're flexible in this format.
Yeah, I'm reading the ADPs, and I did a slow draft to try to get a feel for what was going on, and it's probably in the 25th round. So you can see where it goes, and, the ADPs change much, and I'm not sorting them by recent days and, the injuries. So that does change. But, somebody like, the guy in Jones in the second position, he does a lot of drafts. He never has to move up any players. He's going to get, if you do enough of them, players are going to fall, and he can take opportunities. So that's the advantage of doing more teams, is that you can diversify on the value side, only if their value of guys that are falling that are good and not hurt, like a Tatis, he slides a little bit. You don't know where that value is. So it changes from draft to draft.
All right, Jen, you got your first starting pitcher here. Kind of, what did he have? A sore shoulder or whatever they were talking about, but he was throwing bullpen yesterday.
Yeah, and so he may not be their opening day starter, but I'm not too conserved. So, like maybe he gives me 190 innings instead of 215. I'm still okay with that. And that's just what I was going for there, is the value, and wanted to kind of get a guy that I thought could at least protect my ratios, even if he doesn't give me a lot of innings pitched. So that's kind of what I was going for there.
That's actually his max pick in the cut line. And before that was 50, and you just got him at 50. Was that 56? So a little bit of value there. So there you go.
You like to get a max pick, right?
I love getting max picks. Yeah,
absolutely. And you're right on it. You knew that was max pick right there. Way to go. That's why we have the color commentary.
Inside information she has.
Yeah. Well, Derek's got all the information. I mean, the way they're paying Romo.
Everyone's got the information. It's public. Our ADP are fantastic. They're available for anybody.
I know, but you had it right there after she made the pick.
I had to look. Yeah, right away.
Spot on. That Mountain Dew is working for you. No doubt about it.
Diet Mountain Dew.
Oh, okay. Diet Mountain Dew.
You know how many leagues Derek's won by just watching?
All of them.
Actually, none of them. I've won none of them. I've just watched all of them.
He's a former player who loves to watch the draft boards.
Well, last night I saw that on Twitter about 1:30 and I was going to bed. Like you guys did that. There was a live video published from the St. Louis draft. And I ended up getting the 7th pick. I was like, oh my God. I think that was far enough. I think that was probably an Adrian Gonzalez first round pick back in that point.
Ah, nice.
Funny video though. Boy, you and Tom look young. Neither of you look like that anymore.
Oh, I didn't see that video. I saw it was posted. Was Kay Adams in that one or not?
Oh, it's just you and Tom. Sadly.
Me and Tom? Wow.
Yeah, a little bit.
Who looks young, Tom or me?
You both look really young.
I don't think we were ever young, but
you look older now, put it that way.
I feel older now. In fact, this damn lockout, I aged in dog years. Every day it was worth 7. So the hell with that, man. But we're going to have fun in Vegas next week. Looking forward to it. Shawn, when are you going? You're going pretty soon, aren't you?
I leave on Tuesday.
Like tomorrow?
No, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. Okay.
I'm still behind. I got a lot of work to do to catch up.
Okay. Well, you're missing the first weekend of March Madness.
Greg's so old he can't even walk to the gym anymore.
No. I wish the gym was open. I'd be back down there. I don't think I got game like I used to, but I would love to try. So, all right, enough of that. So here we are. 3 shortstops in a row. Interesting. Correa. Any idea where Correa is going to sign? Anybody?
Houston.
What? It's coming back?
It seems like he's going back at this point to me too.
Yeah,
now.
he's going back.
Is he going back on a 1-year deal then, or what?
6-year deal, I bet.
You think so?
More money.
Huh? Yeah. They're going to step up and pay him, huh?
I hope so.
The players certainly want him back, it sounds like, right?
Look, he was the villain. He put that team on their back when they went through that whole scandal. And if you just watched him, like even through the postseason and everything, he's just a leader. And I don't think you can teach that. Besides how good he is defensively, I mean, he's phenomenal. He's got a cannon. Yeah. So I think he needs to stay. I think they need to keep that core 4 together. I really think they'll try. And I don't think he would be as successful. His brothers in the minors there. Like it's like a family to him. So I think they're going to do what they can to keep him. I hope they do.
So can I ask you some advice on him? So if a fantasy player has lost like $30,000 on Correa in his career, should he go back this year?
The answer is yes, Shawn. You never give up on him.
You are on deck.
How come we didn't get him in NL Labor?
Yeah, we didn't.
Sounds like that's why.
He was unsigned. So
that's right. He's unsigned. That's right.
We can still get.
You are up.
We got a shot at him, huh? I don't know if we needed a shortstop in the AL or not, but we'll see. I'm actually surprised, like the Yankees didn't go after him. I mean, they got a hole at shortstop. I know they got youngsters coming up in a couple of years, but didn't seem like they had any interest in him. So, all right, Shawn, Varsho, you got him in labor as well. 16 or 18 bucks. I can't remember. I think it was 16. What's your thoughts on Varsho?
Well, last year I did him as the breakout player of the year, and for probably a half a season he was at least on pace. But he can qualify in the outfield and get more at bats. I think he can run for a catcher and advantage. So I like what he brings to the table, especially if he can move up in the starting lineup. So I was kind of hoping his ADP was 64. I was hoping he slid. It would be kind of a push for me where I took 2 pitchers to take him in the last round. But if I had, one pitcher and I could have went a different direction, I might have. But I was out of position, so I had to, go in a different direction.
So you waited and you're rewarded. That's the way it goes. Way to go.
Yeah, nobody respected him, so it's okay.
All right, let's talk about another Astro then, Bregman. We have him in labor too, so you're true to form, that's for sure.
Well, he just, a veteran player off 2 bad years. He easily in, at least your 15-team event, he could move him back in to be a 3rd or 4th round player. I know here is in the 70s. So probably this is early compared to the, I think he goes in the 7th round in your 15-team event sometimes. I think his ADP. So, but, I need a third baseman for the position. So it's more, like I said, it's more about the multiples and less about, name sometimes. you got to make up the offense where you're behind, and you just don't want to push one position back too far.
Okay. Let me ask you, Shawn, how you deal with closers. I mean, I think you said you don't want to tie up too many of your pitcher spots with relievers. How will you handle closers here? Because again, saves is not a category. It's worth 5 points.
I mean, they're competitive, and the top guys are definitely worth comparable. I just think that I just look at for the other starting pitchers with the high volume. I'm looking for volume of innings and strikeouts, and hopefully they pitch for good teams first over saves. Saves will come into play later on if somebody gets a job, and they're definitely in play on that first waiver period if they have a job, because you can fill out your back into your bullpen with guys that are going to get some saves, and you get them off the waiver wire. They fill a couple of spots that helps. So right now I'll see how it goes, but I can't anticipate. I probably would say that I wouldn't come out of this draft with a reliever, but it's not for sure if somebody slid that I like. But realistically, is there 20 jobs up for grab right now? I mean, it's pretty wild out there.
Yeah, it is. No doubt about that. All right, Jen, you got to do some explaining here. Talk about the Mondesi pick.
Oh, well, you know what? I feel like a fun time to take a chance on Mondesi is best ball because, hey, maybe he only gives me 50 games, but maybe they're 50 phenomenal games. And then I'm going to take a dart throw on some other third base or somebody with a bunch of positional flexibility later on in the draft, somebody I can move around like a chess piece, maybe DJ LeMahieu or something like that. So, I figure if we're going to gamble, this is the format to do it in.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot in the 8th round. And if things hold true, he's moving back to shortstop at this point, it sounds like. So he could have some multiple position eligibility. And actually, he was one of the highest per game point scorers last year when he didn't seem like he did anything to me, really. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you come on to see last season, you don't think he did anything. So guy that can obviously string the stolen bases and he can a little bit of pop. So it works. Actually, one of the highest scoring weeks I've ever seen in the Cutline was when Billy Hamilton actually stole 11 bases. So, Mondesi has that type of capability where he steals them in streaks, and those spike weeks, boy, they can really help.
All right. So why is Witt going to third and Mondesi staying at short?
Well, I think the idea is Bobby Witt's going to be playing third eventually.
Witt. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why. I guess I don't know why.
Yeah,
because he's a young guy and willing to take something for the team, probably.
Yeah, I guess. But wouldn't it make sense? He's the young guy. Keep him at shortstop. Why are you moving him? He's probably is he the better shortstop? I mean, he's young. Leave him there. Why don't you move Mondesi to third?
Yeah, well, he did.
As a fantasy guy, I hope Witt gets at least 20 games at third. And then next year he's both eligible for both, and this year you have him for both. Yeah. So, selfish me wants him to actually play some third.
Yeah,
just on a qualification thing, you think Bregman qualifies at shortstop this year?
If they lose Correa, probably.
Yeah,
Correa and gets hurt again, right?
Yeah.
Correa gets hurt again, yeah. But what is it? 20 games in this format, right?
10 in season, and then 20 for the following.
It's a lot.
Yeah. All right. Well, interesting for sure. No, I agree with you, Jen. Though that. You're trying to win the $75,000, and if he is healthy,
what do you have to lose, right?
Right. No, if he's healthy, that is the perfect pick. It's 8th round. Who can outscore him per game? So now you just need to stay healthy. So
that was kind of my thought process when I did it. I don't have him in any other format, so this is the one.
Well, you can see it right now. Yeah. You can see it right now. Yelich is going, Stanton's going, Mondesi's going. This is where you take the gambles, right? So.
You are up.
All right. So just like that, you're back on the clock.
I noticed no one's using the rooster sound. You guys don't like the rooster rooster sound?
No. Shawn, what do you use for the sound there?
The clink or something quiet. I have a bunch of dogs at my house. They just go crazy when something like that goes off.
Yeah, the dink is the quietest one. It's like a little just double BB. You can't even hear it.
Yeah, that's why I don't pick sometimes, because I don't hear it.
Yeah, try the rooster and let's see what the dogs do in the background there. I mean, they barked the whole time we're in labor for 2 nights in a row. So
they're upstairs. I'm downstairs. I moved to the other, so I wouldn't get interrupted.
All right, sounds good. All right, let's look at one build here. Team 3, Darik. First starting pitcher is Verlander there. Went with 8 straight hitters. Team 2 doesn't have any pitchers right now. Thoughts on those 2 teams?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to start going. Team 3, I would have liked to – I don't mind starting with 8 bats like that, but I would like to see a couple of guys that have a multiple position ability, a Baez or things like that, where I think you spread your hitting out a little bit better. I mean, he's got great hitters there, don't get me wrong. But now you're going to have to catch up a little bit in yellow. It's still 9 out of 23 starting positions here. Again, they all got to get points. Everyone's got to be healthy. Everyone's got to help pitch in. So you got to get going here. There's still guys left, of course, tons, but time to get going.
Well, he's a veteran player, so he certainly knows what he's doing on
Right.
Team 2 as well.
Team 2,
Jen, real quickly, what's the thought on Verlander this year, health-wise, and how many innings you think?
I mean, he was throwing 96 miles per hour the other day in spring training, and this is a guy who's won a Cy Young before. The upside is phenomenal. He was ready to pitch in postseason, really just played it on the safe side. He's been healed since October. So I have no problem. He's going so late. I took him in my Tout Wars draft. He's going so late. I don't see how you don't take a chance on him. I feel like he's done it before, and I'm not worried about his age. I think he also goes deep into games. Maybe he'll have a slightly lighter workload, but I mean, I like Verlander. It's such good value.
Yeah, tough to doubt Hall of Famers like that. I don't care. They're just if they're motivated and they still can do it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he had the surgery like 18 months ago or so.
Right.
So missed the whole year and has had time to ramp it up a little bit. If he's at 96 right now, that's a damn good sign. All right, Shawn, you took a pitcher coming back off an injury. Did pitch last year, though, at least with Sale. And then Bobby Witt, we have him in labor again. So this is looking like our mixed labor team here. Talk about those 2 picks.
Yeah, just hoping Witt, he qualifies at third base and shortstop and give me a couple positions and coverage out of the gate. Like his power and speed combination, expect him to be in the majors at the beginning of the year. Sale, I think he's a pretty good value in the main event, 3rd, 4th round turn here. Just it seemed like there was a drop off. Ideally, I should have went in a different position, but I just went for the extra pitcher and, I'll probably bang a couple of hitters back on the next turn. And you mentioned the Hall of Famers declining. I mean, Greg doesn't support that message,
You're still in the Hall of Fame despite declining. So just hang in there a little bit, would you? Just hang in there.
I still have an opinion. That's all that matters, right?
Your best years are ahead of you. Don't worry about it. Everybody has a little slump every once in a while. Not 10 years, but everyone has a slump every once in a while. So, all right. Max Muncy talking about another person coming off injury. All right, we're gambling now. Are we gambling, Jen, or not?
Well, I don't know that we are gambling because he says that he expects to be ready for opening day. So that's what the reports were 24 hours ago. So maybe that's wrong, but the kind of power that he has and probably, again, the positional flexibility, I can probably slot him in at first, slot him in at second. Again, at around pick 100, maybe it's a little bit earlier than he was going, but I think that maybe that's not figuring in the recent news that he says he's going to be ready to go for the start of the season.
Well, I'll tell you what,
Trust me. We're gambling.
last year was a round 4 pick in this format, so just to give you a little idea of the value you may have there if he's Max Muncy of that we know.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And I would rather have Max Muncy here than Fernando Tatis in round 2.
Yeah, I agree with you.
If Freeman ends up on the Dodgers, is that a factor for you?
I think they're still going to use Max. I mean, he was honestly in the conversation for NL MVP last season. I don't see how they don't try to keep his bat in the lineup. They're going to have a DH. So even with Freeman, there's still room for Muncy if he's healthy. So, again, around pick 100, I'm not too concerned.
You are up.
All right. Someone's got the rooster on.
That's me and the Widowmaker.
We knew that they weren't using the rooster, and then you come through.
You gotta show it off. It's a nice little noise there.
I hate the rooster. I've never used the rooster. When I accidentally hit the rooster, it bothers me. So. Shawn, how does the DH and the NL play for the projections you've done, or did you do projections expecting that anyways?
I thought the whole time the DH was going to be NL. Like I said, I had to force a lot of players on teams that weren't on the right team, so the projections are looking a little cloudy. You're giving Rizzo a certain number of games, but he's on the on a team where he's not really going to play until and stuff like that. So it's interesting. I think the NL, out of the top 12 free agents that we didn't get in labor, I thought 8 of them would go to the NL. So I think there's been 4 or 5 so far. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, this is interesting. I told Darik this last week. So in labor, which a lot of people know, USA Today's labor, AL only and NL only, they didn't allow us to bid on the top unsigned free agents. So Freddie Freeman, Correa, and stuff like that. And then we're going to have a night where we all get together online and we bid for these available free agents using our $100 fab. I mean, if we're a player away from really having a good team, we could go all in if we want to in that format. So, I mean, that's going to be wild, isn't it, Shawn? I mean, we're going to be online all on a Zoom, I think, or something like that.
Well, and then you have the fallback of Olsen's been traded, so he's in the free agent pool after that.
Yeah.
You know, but you don't know what he's going to go for, you know, so you got the leftover, you know, people bidding on that. So
is there $0 pickups in that?
No.
So you have to have a buck at least.
But you do get money back if you lose a guy for the season, you know, so you could be at 0 and then one of your guys for $18 is out, you get half of it back or something like that. So pretty interesting format, but I wasn't in favor of not allowing us to bid on the unsigned free agents. I thought take a risk, right? Get them for $9, but
yeah, all the other ones went cheap, you know, probably 50% of what they really should go for. So some will land in the right league and some won't.
Yep. Well, we hope we'll be busy. That's, I don't even know what day that is, 28th or something like that, but should be interesting. So, all right. We got one compliment for you, Jen, already. Jason says, I'm loving Jen's team right now. See?
All right.
That's because Jason's a gambler. She's gambling. You can see it. She said we're not gambling, but trust me, she's gambling here.
Hey, listen, you know what? I made some big gambles I played the NFFC postseason mini competition.
Yeah, you did. That's great.
Third overall
for $40 entry. That was fun. I made some gambles and they paid off. So, you know, you got to know when to.
Here's the one gamble you should have made.
On deck.
You should have gotten the $200 one.
I know. I was so mad because I looked and my score would have been second place if I had done that. Yeah,
nice.
I know. I cost myself a lot of money, but it's funny because I only did it because I was like, oh, I just want to play one. And then I'm going to talk about it on my podcast. And it's going to be great content.
Yeah.
And it was.
It is. It's good content for sure. It's a fun format. In fact, we do that multiplier in baseball and we do it in basketball. We got a basketball postseason
It was
contest.
super fun. My partner on the pod, he's like, I will never not play postseason again. That was awesome. I'm like,
yeah,
all right.
cheap entertainment for $40 for all 4 rounds or whatever. That's a lot of fun for sure. But and it was a wild postseason. I mean, who predicted, you know, what was going to happen there? So good stuff. All right, Shawn, Jonathan India. That's good pick in round 11, huh?
Yeah, I should have taken him in the last round, and I took Sale, and he made it all the way back, which was surprising. But you know, some people, you know, they didn't have second baseman. Jen didn't. She went for the power, which I can see that.
She's gambling.
But I just bumped Max Muncy over to second to make myself feel better about the fact I didn't have one.
Well, that's what I was thinking when you were drafting, that she might not have taken him.
You are up.
So, you know, that's who I should have taken, but I was being greedy and trying to think. So I feel I was fortunate.
Yeah, you were greedy. You were gambling. It came through here. So, all right, we're going to go through this next 2 rounds here, and then we're going to drop off. But again, the idea is just to show you this format, show you how fast these drafts go, how much fun they can be. It's best ball scoring. So a lot of fun doing this. And again, 42 rounds. So this will take 2 hours or so, maybe a little bit less. And $75,000 grand prize. Like Jen said, she got into a $40 postseason contest, won a couple $1,000s, which is fun. In this one, $175 entry can win you $75,000. And someone's got to win it. We got to give it to someone. So it might as well be you, right?
That's right. Might as well be me.
Yeah, I wasn't talking to Shawn. Don't worry. I was talking to you. Shawn is a Hall of Famer, but he's never won an overall title. Come on, man. You got to win an overall, right?
I've been close.
I know, third,
I
fifth.
would have won the Cutline with the 1 entry a few years ago if Mike Trout didn't get hurt for the last 10 days of the year.
Yeah, that sucks, huh? Is that the one you drafted up in the suite that time at the Park MGM?
I probably did.
Yeah, you guys, a couple of you guys had really good teams when it came out of that one. So, yeah, it's good fun. So,
what do you guys think about drafting like a lot of St. Louis pitchers because the Reds fire sale and
oh boy.
I'm really warming up to the idea of that.
How about Brewers pitchers? As long as you're talking
Brewers
about
pitchers. Well,
Brewers
pitchers a little harder because they go a little bit earlier, right?
Yeah. I mean, you could stack them if you wanted to. You just have to get them earlier. That's all. But Yeah, I mean, the Reds, I mean, what a fire sale. Unbelievable. And so sad that we went through a 99-day lockout and then we've got teams tanking right out of the gate, Oakland and Cincinnati.
Oakland. Mhm.
Just terrible. So, all right. Before we go, Jen, any thoughts on this format? Are you having any fun at least? And how can people watch your podcasts and read your stuff?
I'm having a great time, guys. This is awesome. I would do this all the time if I could. I'm over at Sports Illustrated with Shawn. Shawn and I will be giving a lot of baseball content. The bulk of it will be Shawn's, and I'll be throwing in some content as well. And then I also do the betting angle of MLB as well. And I'm covering NFL. And apparently I'm doing some March Madness. I don't know how I got tricked into doing that, but somehow I'm doing that a little bit out of my comfort zone, but it's happening. So yeah, Sports Illustrated. I'm also on SiriusXM. And this weekend I will be broadcasting the Tout Wars mixed draft with Howard Bender and Glenn Colton. So you can tune in. I believe they just moved the start time back to 4 p.m. Eastern time for the mixed draft. So tune into SiriusXM and catch us there. And you'll get even more scintillating draft breakdowns on Saturday.
Awesome. Sounds good. Shawn, where can they read your team profiles, player profiles, all of that?
Yeah, I'm at si.com and, on Twitter, Shawn _Childs. Jen got forced into the basketball probably because of the baseball, the lockout. She couldn't, they want baseball information now, but the NCAA tournament's gotten away. Yeah. Everybody wants that over baseball. Exactly. So that's that fault. But I'll hand you the bar once the regular season starts, because I have to shift to football probably at May 1st, almost like all the time. So it's just a change of things. In season, I usually do a couple things in baseball, but we don't really do a ton of in-season baseball. We'll do some and try to incorporate the daily games. And I prefer you to do that than me.
We'll make it work. We're going to have a lot of content at SI, football, baseball, whatever you want. We got it. We got you covered.
Perfect. Sounds good. Well, we appreciate both of you competing in this one. Best of luck to everybody. Thanks to everybody who came into the chat, responded there. You can watch us on our YouTube channel at High Stakes Fantasy Network, and it was on my Twitter feed, so you can go back and look at it as well. We have a public draft board. I'll tweet that out as well. I know Jen did that as well, so you can still follow it even though we're off the air. But thanks, everyone, for joining. I'm going to be in Las Vegas next week, so I'll see all of the NFBC people at the Bellagio a week from now. And Shawn, I'll see you there as well. All right.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Again, I'll see you for the SI.com mock draft next Tuesday.
Yes. Looking forward to that for our mock draft next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you later.